Thank you. Great to be here. Just got through with the luncheon. I know that our guys, our team, our travel party, administration has had a fabulous time here in Nashville. The city's been wonderful host. Franklin American Mortgage has done nothing but provide us with first-class events. Our guys are really, really appreciative of it. Practice sites practicing over at Vanderbilt. I want to thank them too. Being able to utilize their facilities, stadium, and locker rooms, practice facility has been great for us too. Everything's been very, very convenient. So, from that standpoint, we're excited to be here, facing a very, very quality opponent in Louisville, and well coached. A team that's been red hot down the stretch here, and has lost some very, very close games to quality opponents. We recognize what Coach Petrino has done, not just this year, but over the course of his career. And this is another fine football team that, as you watch the video, they've gotten better every week, have come through and played some really, really quality opponents right down the wire, and won 7 out of their last 9. So this is a team that obviously comes into this game hot, and a team that we need to be ready to roll early in the game, because they're explosive in all 3 phases.
Thank you, Coach Sumlin. And now we'll hear from the head coach of the Louisville Cardinals, Bobby Petrino.
Thank you. I'd like to thank Franklin American Mortgage for everything they've done for us here at the bowl site. Like Kevin said, it's been a first-class setup, first-class organization, from where we practice to the weight room that we use, the meeting rooms, and the events that they've had for our players. I think it's been a great experience for our players. This is a fun game for me because I met Kevin a long time ago back on the Palouse. He was coaching at Washington State, and I was coaching at Idaho, and we used to hang out a little bit together and have some fun. And ever since that time, you know, I've followed his career and get his film from every season, see what I can steal from him. So it's fun to be able to coach against each other. And one of the things that really jumps out at you when you put their video on is, you know, how fast they are, and how talented they are, and how well coached they are. So, but I've been really happy with our preparation. It's been, you know, one of the some years are harder than others, but this year has been great in our preparation. Our guys have had great attitudes. They've worked hard. You know, we got a bunch of young guys that like each other and like football, so there hasn't been any issues with, you know, being on time or practicing and doing the things that they're supposed to do. And we've tried to balance between our preparation and enjoying the bowl experience. We're really excited to be here in Nashville with our crowd that will come down from Louisville, and our fans that will join us here today and tomorrow. So with that, we'll just open up for questions.
Bobby, can you plug the guitar?
I'm gonna learn. I always wanted to be a country western singer, you know. Until I started singing, and they put me in the back of the room. So probably if I could figure out how to play it, I just won't sing.
Kevin, have you learned anything new about Jake Kubnak?
You know, I don't know that we've learned anything really new about him. It's just that you know, here's a guy who came to Texas A&M, and you know, late after we had some highly recruited guys. So, you know, he understood where he was. He understood the challenges ahead of him. And I think because of his even keel, his level-headedness, you know, he's gone through some things a little bit different and approached the process probably a little bit differently than some of the other players. And now, with his time and his turn, because of how he's handled things before that, I think he's been able to handle things a little bit better, and he's, let's face it, you know, the guy's been around a little bit. He's you know, been at another university. He's been at junior college. He's an older guy that's traveled around a little bit, so he's he's used to adversity, and I think he's handled it well so far.
Is Speedy Noyle going to play in the bowl game?
No, he is not.
And is that because he's suspended?
Yes.
For 2 games?
He's suspended for this game, yes.
Only this game, though? Not the first game of next week?
We'll deal with that later.
Are there any other suspensions?
No, not right now, no. I hope we don't have any more before tomorrow, so.
Coach Petrino, how much have you had a chance to look at Jake Kubanak, considering his limited play time? And is it more looking at what little bits that he's played or the system overall?
Well, we've looked at all the plays that he's played, obviously, and tried to get a study on that. But, you know, like I said, we go back a long way with Kevin and his philosophy, and all of us have some patterns on what we like to do schematically and what we believe in. And then you try to mix them up, you know, on what players' strengths are. And one of the great challenges we have is they're very, very talented at the receiver position, the running back position. So it's really going to be more about, you know, how do we defend that, and how do we defend the schemes that Kevin likes over the years, and than just one person.
For both coaches, I wonder how you balance putting in systems for thinking toward next fall and trying to win this game. Is there an equation that you use to figure that out?
I mean, what we did is we took the first part of the bowl preparation and we went back and did an installation, you know, to try to really coach the young guys and reteach our young players that are on the team. So you just install and you go right back through it like you would if they didn't know anything. And then once we got that over with, then we moved on to your preparation for the game, and you kind of put that aside, saying that this is going to show up and help us when we get to spring ball. So our preparation for this game has been like a normal week, and how you go about your business for a normal week.
Yeah, sounds like we were very, very similar in approach. Early part of bowl preparation concentrated on the younger players, the players who didn't play as much, maybe some of the red shirt, second, third string guys, and went through installation, again, offensively, defensively, even special teams, same drills that you do during fall camp, getting guys back used to, you know, what we do as Texas A&M, not necessarily, you know, I say it all the time, those guys that are red-shirted are used to being Vanderbilt or Alabama or Auburn or somebody else during the year, and they get away from running your offense, running your defense, your special teams philosophy. So we settle into that early, and then we get back into game preparation week or a little bit more, and really flip those roles back, and the travel squad guys get back to a really game week mode mentality. And just like we talk about, my wife gives me a hard time because, you know, I don't know what day it is. To me, today is Friday. So we operate that way in a game week, and we play games on Saturday, which that is for me tomorrow. So you guys can say whatever day it is, but we've got practice here in a little bit, and we'll have our regular Friday routine.
Can you just talk about their defense and what you see specifically about Rankins and what he kind of causes?
You know, the first thing that jumps out to you is the guys up front are big and physical, and they run well as a defense. They play extremely hard, very, very well coached. You know, I think you watch, you know, how they get to the ball, not as a single person, but as a group. You know, Todd's always been a really, really fine football coach, and you see that on tape. You know, those guys are playing hard, and when you have a defense or any side of the ball that is well coached but also gives great effort, I think you see the result of that statistically from their defense. So again, that's a great challenge for us because of the the multiplicity of what they do, particularly if they can get you in third down situations, and so that's going to be really a key for us in this game, to be able to manage third down situations and be able to handle some of the exotic things that happen. But they're talented players that are in a great scheme. They're well coached and play hard, and that's where you get the type of numbers that you get.
Well, you talked about trying to be the fastest team in the ACC. At the end of the season, how close do you think you were to that, and do you anticipate being faster next fall?
Yeah, I think we still have a ways to go. You know, when you look at Clemson and Florida State, and and the speed that they possess, I do feel like, you're being a fast football team is not just your 40 time. Being a fast football team is really understanding what our schemes are and what you're supposed to do, and then having a great understanding of the other side of the football, so there's no hesitation, and you play full speed and you play fast. And being a young team that we had this year, there were times where we weren't playing fast. We were hesitating and we were unsure. But I do think that the last 5 games of the year that we got better at that, and we improved, and maybe at times we cut back a little bit so our guys could play faster. Although we do want to go out there and recruit good 40 times, and we do want to go out there and recruit guys that are really fast, and track. It's up to us as coaches to allow them to play fast by doing a great job of teaching.
Do you project that the players who will inherit roles from the seniors will be faster than the seniors?
Boy, I hope so. I hope so. Although that's a pretty good senior crew.
Coach Sumlin, what impresses you about Lamar Jackson watching him on tape?
Well, you're talking about, when you start talking about fast, I think he fits into what Coach was just talking about. Guys that have an opportunity to change the game, and you just take a look at the last ball game that was played. There was really a tale of 2 halves, and one half where a guy basically took over the game and ran away from a bunch of people on the field. So, you've got both sides, and I thought that from a team speed standpoint, and that's probably the challenge that we have. And when you get outside of your conference, you're able to look at different teams and say, all right, we played these guys, let's see where they are here. The interesting thing about bowl games, I think, are you really don't have any real judge for that, and being able to get up to game speed, adjust to speed in this game is going to be very, very important, because we haven't played since Thanksgiving weekend, number one, and number two, you're playing an opponent that really we've got really one opponent in Auburn, and that was a long time ago for all of us to judge that against. So. It's easy to see that what Coach is talking about, because this is a fast football team that we're playing against, and our challenge is going to be to get the game speed in a hurry at kickoff.
Kevin, you don't get asked a lot about your punter. He's really good. He's got a chance to break an NCAA all-time record.
No offense, I hope he doesn't. No, I'm just. Yeah, no, he's been fabulous. I mean, nothing short. I think, I may get in trouble for it, but I've been public with it. I think it was a mistake, the Ray Guy Award. I mean, for him not even to be invited to have a chance to set a national record for a guy who's been consistent over whether you're going to talk about a career or whether a single season, he was more than deserving of not only being there but winning the award. He's been fabulous for us, and a combination of not only distance, net punting, but able to knock the ball down not only inside the 20 but inside the 12-yard line, which is something that he works very, very hard at. So he's a complete punter. He's a next level guy, and like I said, no offense, you know, he's had a great career. I'd just like to keep it that way. I don't really want him to play a lot tomorrow night. So, but if you ask to, we got a good one.
Hey, Kevin, looking back, John Chavis in any way might have exceeded what your expectations were for what he could do in the first year, or did you anticipate that the defense could improve as much as it did this quickly?
You know, we've I think we've gotten better as the year has gone on. I think everybody gets a feel for, you know, philosophically, whenever you have a coaching change, obviously you're doing that to get better. And, you know, as players start to understand the philosophy, and coaches start to understand the players a little bit more instead of just trying to make things work, you tend to get a little bit better. So, you know, everybody being around each other over the course of the year, I think really, really helped. And, you know, you make changes for a reason, and the reason is to get better. Otherwise, you don't make those changes. And so, you know, we've gotten better on defense, and I think we're going to continue to get better over time.
Kevin, would you do anything differently in how you manage the quarterbacks?
You know, it's anytime, just like I said, a week ago, Kate, you know, if the results that you have, in hindsight, it's always going to be 20/20. You know, if they were both still here, then you don't have that conversation. They're not. So you're always going to go back and reevaluate, you know, how you do things. And you've heard me say beforehand, the good things we're going to evaluate and try to stay ahead of the curve. Things that don't work out, we're going to look at that and see what we need to do to fix it. And, you know, at no time do we recruit guys that we want to leave the program. And so, you know, yeah, we'll reevaluate where that is. We've already looked at that, and you know, we'll see where we're going from here.
Does the turmoil of this month add to the importance of this game for you or the team?
No, I don't know that it's, you know, I think when you're inside the situation, I don't think our guys see any turmoil. You know, I think what they see is we've had bowl practices. You know, the guys that we've concentrated on the guys that are here, and you know, there really hasn't been a distraction inside the program because those guys are practicing, and we've been traveling. Where, you know, there's really been nobody on campus but us. So for our guys, it's been a chance to become closer as a team, and in particular, you know, get home and see your families for Christmas, and then get to Nashville. So for us, you know, I hadn't seen much turmoil inside our situation, particularly in practice or in meetings.
Bobby, when you start 0-3, I'm sure there's some uneasy feelings, but in retrospect, Clemson is #1. Houston had a great year. Do you have a comfort level at that point in the season that things were going to get easier or better?
No, you don't know. You know, what you do is you just prepare on a weekly basis, and it challenges your beliefs. There's no question about that, and it challenges attitudes in the locker room. And losing is hard. You know, it's hard. It's hard on everybody. But that's why I think that I have so much respect for our team and for our players, is that we never experienced bad attitudes. Our guys continued to work hard, continued to like going to practice and being in the meeting rooms, and we were able to turn it around. So it's obviously not something that we ever want to do again, and we did not enjoy the experience at all. But we fought through it, and you know, they're all. What I tell them is this is all going to happen to them sometime in their life where things aren't going to go good for a few weeks or 3 weeks or a month, and hopefully this experience helps them understand what you have to do to get by it.
We have time for one more question.
Coach Sumlin, I know in the past you said that the bowl game is kind of the start of the next year. Do you see this game as an audition for Jake for next year as a starting quarterback, and do you think that he is anticipating the auditioning for a possible starting job next year starting tomorrow?
I'll be honest with you. I don't think Jake's thinking past tomorrow night with everything that's happened. So, you know, that's a question that you probably ask him after the game. You know, we've been consistent in our approach, you know, since whether it was here, Houston, but you know, this is a reward for our seniors. It's a way to really reward our older players for what they've accomplished over the course of their career. It's important to them. For a lot of them, it's the last football game they'll ever play. And, for those guys, it takes there's a certain amount of passion that they're going to bring, and we expect them to bring. But until you're there at that point in your career, it's hard to explain. But for our young guys, it's a chance to really start the year off the right way. And so, yeah, it's that whole message is never going to change in how we approach bowl games, and I think our guys have a pretty good understanding of that.